What's going on, everybody? RJ Ochoa here from SB Nation's bloggingtheboys.com. We hope all is well wherever you are. We hope you're happy, safe, healthy, and that you are enjoying this fine victory polo Monday. The Dallas Cowboys taking care of business on Sunday Night Football against the bad guys, 33-13, the final score against the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday Night Football for all the world to see. We, of course, had our post-game show. You can go check that out here on the Blog of the Boys YouTube channel. Make sure you do subscribe. But today we are here to talk about the NFC Playoff Picture. Now, full disclosure, I'm recording this on Monday afternoon. It's about 4 p.m. Central Time, so the two Monday Night Football games have not happened. They do technically, to a small degree, impact the NFC Playoff Picture because the Green Bay Packers are playing the New York Giants. But for the real purposes of our discussion, which obviously pertain to the top of the playoff picture on the NFC side of things, we're pretty good to go, which is why we're starting. So let's take a look at the NFC Playoff Picture as Sunday of Week 14 is officially in the books. The Cowboys win over the Eagles was seismic, not only in that it gave the Cowboys a temporary, potentially, lead in the NFC East, but it knocked the Eagles, obviously, off that pedestal down to the wild card mix, which promoted the San Francisco 49ers to the current 1 seed in the NFC. Now, there was a lot of words there, and what you need to know is this. While the Cowboys do currently sit in first place in the NFC East, and the reason for that is that 4-1 record that Dallas has, that's within the division right there that you see to the right of the winning percentage. The Eagles are quote-unquote only 3-1, but they do still have 2 division games remaining. We've been telling you for a while that if the Eagles win out their final 4 games of the season, they will win the NFC East. It is still within their control. The Cowboys do still need the Eagles to slip up, so they still need help from someone else, even though they won on Sunday night. Really won in embarrassing fashion for the Eagles on Sunday night. That's kind of where things stand as it pertains to the division. But what was important about the way that Dallas won, or really the fact that Dallas won on Sunday night, was it made the Eagles, kind of sit in a really uncomfortable position. If you watch me or listen to me or check me out on social media, you know that the word that I was using ahead of this game for the Cowboys was to make the Eagles squirm, make the Eagles work for it. Life is about to be very uncomfortable over the next 4 weeks, the final 4 weeks of the regular season for the Eagles, because while they do have control towards the NFC East, they do not have control for the 1 seed in the conference. Now, it bums me out and bums you out, obviously, to think about that ending up in the hands of the San Francisco 49ers. And while we can kind of hypothesize and speculate as to what would be more beneficial for the Cowboys down the stretch, if the Eagles have to work for this, that is ultimately not any sweat off of our back. But so right now, as it stands, Sunday of Week 14 in the books. Again, the Packers yet to play on Monday night. Niners at the 1 seed, Dallas at the 2 as the leaders of the NFC East. Currently, the Detroit Lions did lose on Sunday to the Chicago Bears. They're kind of effectively out of the running for the 1 seed. I don't think that they'll slip up enough to lose the NFC North, but you never know. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defeated the Atlanta Falcons to leapfrog them for the temporary lead in the NFC South. Whoever does not wind up winning the NFC East will in all likelihood visit the winner of the NFC South in the wild card round, the way that Dallas did Tampa last year, and the way, as it stands in this exact moment, Philadelphia would Tampa right now. The Minnesota Vikings did win, albeit 3-0, so barely a win, but a win is a win is a win. The Green Bay Packers have yet to play. The Rams did lose, a heartbreaker to the Baltimore Ravens, and the Seahawks could not help us out, obviously, on Sunday with their latest loss, this one at the hands of the San Francisco 49ers. But we are big Seahawks fans coming up because, as I mentioned, we need to see the Eagles lose another game if the Cowboys have any hope of winning the NFC East, and that is still a long hope because it involves the Cowboys winning out, and they have 3 very difficult games coming up, and you certainly can't overlook their Week 18 game on the road against the Commanders. But that being said, as we take a look at the remaining schedule here, I know the font is a little small just because of the way we have to, proportion things, but if you want to zoom in, you want to pause, take a screenshot, whatever, the NFL schedule grid is so great. Now, this does not note, by the way, this screen here, that the Seahawks-Eagles game next week is on Monday Night Football. The game was flexed to Monday night, so just so you know for your own scheduling purposes. But the final 4 games of the season for the Eagles, and again, we need them to lose another game, are at Seattle next week on Monday Night Football, and they get the Giants, the Cardinals, and the Giants to wrap things up. The San Francisco 49ers, all right, they're going to play the Arizona Cardinals. I don't think that we can really count on anything significant happening there, but they do still play the Baltimore Ravens. I think that is, excuse me, I'm still battling a cough, the biggest opportunity for the Cowboys or the Eagles, to be quite frank, to pick up help with regards to the Niners. We will see, though. It is never going to be an easy thing, but it's worth mentioning that we are kind of rooting for different birds right now, if you want to kind of throw a blanket around everything. The 49ers play the Cardinals this week, so that's one bird. The Eagles play the Seahawks this coming week. I'm obviously talking about week 15. That is another, and the Niners obviously still have yet to play the Ravens, as mentioned. And for what it's worth, the Eagles have yet to play the Cardinals as well. So the Cardinals could help us out here. The Ravens could help us out. The Seahawks could help us out. It's the NFL. It's crazy. The final few weeks of the regular season are always hectic. And so here's hoping that one of these teams helps us out. But the Cowboys obviously have their work cut out for them starting this Sunday on the road against the Buffalo Bills. They are technically underdogs in that game. Depending on where you look, 1.5 to 2 points. Buffalo has a new level of life on their season with their win at Arrowhead on Sunday. I know that, Kadarius Toney was offsides or whatever. I don't want to upset anybody, but the Bills are now above 500 and clinging to hope in the AFC playoff picture. So it is not going to be easy for Dallas to go up there and come away with a win, but if they can, it will obviously only strengthen their overall case as contenders, and certainly Dak Prescott's as the MVP frontrunner, which he is as of Sunday night. But something I wanted to take a look at, something I wanted to kind of show you here, because I think you understand where things are at. We're rooting against the Eagles. We're rooting against the Niners. We're obviously rooting for the Cowboys. I found this to be very interesting. If you look at the New York Times playoff simulator here, it provides, I think, an interesting level of detail on the Cowboys specifically. So as you can see, there are 4 columns here for each and every team. There's the percentage chance to make the playoffs. So as you can see, the Eagles and the Cowboys, the Ravens, the Dolphins, not quite even the Lions and the Chiefs, not quite technically, literally a playoff team as of yet, but obviously they're all slated to be playoff teams. So no worries. The San Francisco 49ers are an overwhelming favorite to win their division, as are the Eagles. You see that second column, obviously. The Eagles have a 72% chance, again, according to the New York Times playoff simulator, to win the NFC East. The Ravens, 87. The Dolphins, 92. The Lions, 86. On and on and on. The next one is the round 1 bye, which is the 1 seed in each team's respective conference. As you can see, the Niners are the overwhelming favorite in the NFC to take home that 1 seed. Philly, 23%, Dallas, 6%, Detroit, only 1%. Their losses as of late to Green Bay and Chicago have really hurt them in that respect. And finally, Super Bowl odds, the final column. San Francisco, the overwhelming favorite, as you can see, 39%. Philly, though, only 7%, and Dallas is 10%. What did I find interesting? What are you getting at, RJ? Look at all the teams on your screen here, and I know that I'm blocking the Chiefs and Jaguars. Let me see if I can shrink myself while we're going. Oh, look at me shrinking myself. I'm really mastering this, guys. Look at me. Shout out to me. If you look at kind of really I guess, I could have left myself large, I guess. Let's go back up a little bit here. Let's leave it just under Miami. All right, if you look at the top 5 teams, the Niners obviously check out to win their division, to be the first round bye, or to have the first round bye, and to win the Super Bowl, be in the Super Bowl, right? The Ravens, same sort of thing, right? Like it all kind of passes the eye test, the vibe test, whatever you want to call it. The Eagles, though, are in a weird position. Now, the Eagles have earned what they have right now. The Eagles have earned the right to control their own destiny because they've won 10 games at this point, because they beat Dallas and Philadelphia, because they took care of business earlier in the season. But as you can see, while odds favor the Eagles with regards to the race in the NFC East, they do not favor the Eagles with regards to the 1 seed and particularly the Super Bowl. Look at this. The Cowboys, who are only a 28%, likelihood to win their division, the same division that the Eagles play in, have better odds for the Super Bowl than the Eagles do. I mean, think about that. That, I think, is what is something that we should take some solace in. That is something that you should feel excited about. That is something that you should feel incredibly excited about, because the Philadelphia Eagles might be the team that hosts the Dallas Cowboys in the divisional round of the playoffs. And it stands to reason that the Dallas Cowboys are the better team right now. Now, I know that doesn't mean much, because we would love to see the Cowboys maintain home field advantage. They've obviously won 15 games in a row at AT&T Stadium, but there is no division leader here, and now I'll make myself small, that has a drop-off like that. I mean, the Browns don't lead their division. The Jaguars do. So the Jaguars have just as similar odds to be the number 1 seed in the AFC as they do, obviously, for the Super Bowl. The Chiefs, similarly, right? Their 1 seed odds, their Super Bowl odds are nearly identical. The Lions are kind of in a similar boat where they don't have, their Super Bowl odds are higher than, the number 1 seed odds. That's where it's at for the Cowboys. The Cowboys are clearly a team that can handle being on the road, despite the fact that all their success has come at home, that is finding their right form. I do think this is fascinating and a proper indication that the Cowboys, while they put themselves a little bit behind the eight ball with how the Eagles were winning and winning and winning in September, October, and the early part of November, the Cowboys still are the team to fear in the NFC East. And outside of the Niners, the team to fear in the NFC. I mean, look at the NFC teams listed here. There are only three. I'll count them for you. Four, excuse me, counting the Eagles. The Niners, the Eagles. But again, the Cowboys have better Super Bowl odds than the Eagles here. The Cowboys have the second best Super Bowl odds in the NFC. Now, they're significantly lower than the Niners, obviously, because the Niners are the Niners. But the Cowboys are right there. You have all the reason in the world to believe in this team, not just now, but moving forward deep into December, deep into January, and hopefully in the early parts of February. But that's where things are at right now. Now, the Packers could win on Monday night and keep themselves in the wild card race, and obviously we'll see how that goes. It's possible you're watching this video after the game, and that really doesn't impact where Dallas is at. As far as the Cowboys, the important things are they need to keep on winning. They need a loss from the Eagles. They need a loss from the Niners. The more losses, the better, if that doesn't go without saying, or if that goes without saying, whatever. The point is, it's obvious that the more losses that each team can endure, the better for us and our sake. If you like what we do around here, please make sure to subscribe to the Blogging the Boys YouTube channel. That would make us very happy. My name is RJ Ochoa. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, or Threads at RJ Ochoa, or on TikTok at rj.ochoa. You can comment down below, and I'll do my best to get to those also. If you'd like, you can also send me an email, rj.ochoa@sbnation.com. For now, I bid you adieu. I hope you enjoy the rest of this Victory Polo Monday. I hope you have something wonderful and delicious to eat, and I hope you watch something amazing on television. Thanks so much for hanging out, everybody. We'll see you next time.